laboratory. 4 axes as you can see. First I've got, this is the Zeke axe, Russian axe, made for a huge handle, probably out of birch, I would imagine. 3 pounds. It's a large Russian axe. There are the Zeke axes, come out of the Zeke factory in Russia, made really for timber production in the gulags. And then you have the trapper axes, which are much smaller. You probably know the trapper axes, both of these axes, from the documentary Happy People A Year in the Taiga. This has a white oak handle that I made myself. I have the Gransfors Scandinavian forest axe. Now this is the bit after I filed it back enough to get through the steel that was burned when the factory put its grind on the axe. It's about 20-21 degrees now. So I'm gonna see how the bit holds up. It's quite a bit harder now that I'm through that burned steel. This is my bushcrafting axe. This is the Council Tool Pack axe, just for comparison to the Scandinavian forest axe more than anything. 5160 steel, 24-inch handle. This Gransfors has a 25-inch handle, so inch advantage to the Gransfors. And finally, I would say this is my most used work axe. This is the Council Tool Forest Service Edition Boys Axe. It's a wonderful axe. I love it. I bought this. It was a you know, I guess you'd call it not even a factory second. Whiskey River held it back because they just didn't want to sell it. It was out of spec because of the handle. The handle had a ton of run out. Even though it has perfect grain orientation, this is a great example of why you'd want to pick continuous grain over the slope of grain at the end of the handle. Cracked up at the eye, not a problem, really. I probably cracked it, you know, 8 months ago, maybe even more than that. I glued the handle back together, wrapped it with some jute twine, and I've been running this thing hard ever since. So let's get started. I'm gonna give this Scandinavian forest axe a try. Whew. Man, I'm rolling all over the place. I got some chocks back here, but they're not doing a whole lot. Ooh, do you hear that? That would have destroyed this bit before I filed it back. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I mean, that just slammed into the core. Hold on, I gotta Keeps smacking my head on that branch. All right. Am I halfway through? I'm a little out at the bottom still. Oh. Well, I wouldn't say that's my best chopping. I started too wide, and so I had to, you know, if you really want to do it, I think the right way, you should make a small wedge and then open up that wedge after you're into the log. I bit off more than I could chew and then had to wedge after after the fact, but I'll leave that in there just because, you know, nobody's perfect. But I tell you what is perfect after chopping is this bit. Look at that. Zero damage, no rolling, no chipping, and it's still got an edge. I'm very happy with that. I'm extremely happy with that. So I think we've fixed it. And this chops the way I expected a Gransfors axe to chop. All right, so now we've got the Zeke axe. This was probably made, like I said, for timber production in the gulags. This is my first ever cross-wedged axe. And I hung this on a green handle. I split this white oak handle myself from a log. And you know, this is a great axe made out of superior steel. There's some things that the Soviet Union that are really interesting about the Soviet Union. The first thing I'll mention is that there are times when they put they made things of a ridiculously high quality because they had no market economy. There wasn't really the means of figuring out in advance where to spend the money on a product in order to make it economical. I think this axe is a great example of that. It's made out of U7 steel. I hear a lot of people say it's S7. S7 and U7 are not the same. This is a phenomenal alloy, probably made in the early 60s. I think this one is 1963 when it was made. Or maybe 1960. Hard to tell from the stamp. Ridiculously good quality steel. I mean, truly, not a well-designed axe. I mean, it really isn't. It's a very, very strange axe. It's got the handle guard here. It's in great shape, great shape. I bought it out of Ukraine, so we'll chop with it. All right. and I can feel it slipping as I chopped. You know, this is one of the dangers of hanging a handle green. So you see how it slipped? No good chopping with this one. I'm gonna move on. Fix this handle later. All right, I'm gonna give the pack axe its own wedge. Now, not sure if I'm in frame or not. Perfect bit. Perfect bit. You can get some power behind a 24-inch axe. Now, you might even be able to chop harder with a 24-inch than, you know, than you might at first think. 24-inch handles get a rap as being less functional, but I don't agree with that. When you chop with a 24-inch axe, you'll feel your stomach muscles pulling down more so than if you were using a longer axe. You can really use your shoulders. When you're swinging a long axe, you don't need your ab muscles as much. So when you use a 24, it pulls in a lot of larger muscle groups. So I find I can chop extremely efficiently with a 24-inch axe. All right, I gotta say, this is one of my favorites. the top here. Yeah. Just one tiny little ding here. And that would probably take a little stone that'd come out in a jiffy. You know, solid axe, solid hang, chops very well. I like this a lot. All right, so here we go. That Gransfors, you know, honestly, I think that is my best notch of the three, and it felt like the least work, really. We are halfway through the log here. The pack axe, I need to work on that bit a little bit. It didn't quite chop the way that I wanted to. I think it's still chopped serviceably, but I think I'm gonna file that back a bit. A little bit of a speed bump there. File that back, and you know, it's a bushcraft axe, so I have a fairly stout grind on it because I don't want to bust my axe in the woods. You know, this boy's axe is always a pleasure to chop with. You know, 28-inch handle, fairly whippy, really nice and thin handle. I like this one a lot. But the whole purpose of this video was to test out this Gransfors. Man, you look at that bit. If you look at my previous videos on this axe, that bit just got tore up 6 ways from Sunday on a smaller log. Here it's perfect, absolutely perfect. So, you know, I hope Gransfors fixes this problem, because I sure have seen a lot of videos online with people talking about the same issues that I had, and you know, there's a couple videos with millions of views. So I hope that got their attention, and they can fix that grind, because you know, ultimately it's less work and less expense for them, so should be a no-brainer, and you get a more functional axe out of it. But here you go. Council tool, Forest Service boys axe, council tool, pack axe, and I have a whole new opinion on this Gransfors. That's the axe that I thought I was getting when I got it. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.